Let's move on to our next chapter, control structures in Python. In this chapter, we will learn about control structure, sequential statement, selection statement, and iteration statements. Python provides control structures that serve to specify what has to be done by our program when and under which circumstances. Python program is a set of statements and is normally executed sequentially in the order in which they appear. But in certain situations, you may have to change this order of execution based on certain conditions, or you may have to repeat a group of statements until certain conditions are met. One of the several possible actions will be then carried out depending on the outcome of the logical test. This is known as branching. In addition, the program may require that a group of instructions be executed repeatedly until some logical conditions has been satisfied, and this is known as looping. Now let's see the classification of control structures. Here we can see three classification: conditional structure, iteration statement, and sequential statement. Under the conditional structure, we can see if statement, if else statement, if else statement, nested if statement. Under iteration statement, we can see while loop and for loop. Under the sequential statement, break, continue, and pass statements we can see. First, we can discuss what is conditional structure. Where condition is the expression that is being evaluated. If this condition is true, the statement is executed, and if it is false, the statement is not executed, and the program continues after this conditional structure. The if keyword is used to execute a statement or block only if a condition is fulfilled. Its form is if, condition, column, then statement. Basically, there are different forms of if statements. They are simple if statement. The general form of if statement is if, condition, statement. Here the program evaluates the condition and will execute block of statement only if the text expression is true. If the text expression is false, the statement is not executed. We can see a sample program to study the use of if statement. Flowchart of simple if also we can see. First, we are giving a test condition here, and if the condition is true, then the body of if will be executed. And if the condition is false, it will not execute. Next is if else statement. It is an extension of if statement. General form is if test condition, body of if, else, body of else. The if statement evaluates condition and will execute the body of if only when test condition is true. If the condition is false, body of else is executed. See the flowchart. First, given a condition, if it is true, the body of if statement is executed, and if it is false, the body of else statement is executed. This is the structure of if else statement. We can see a simple program here. If it is used to find the greatest among two numbers. If a greater than b, then print a is the greatest. Else print b is the greatest. Next is if else statement. The elif is short for else if. It allows us to check for multiple expression. The general form is if condition, body of if, elif condition, body of elif, else, body of else. If the condition for if is false, it checks the condition of the next else if block and so on. If all the conditions are false, the body of else is executed. Only one block among the several if else blocks are executed according to the condition. The if block can have only one else block, but it can have multiple else if block. Okay, so here we can see the flowchart of if else statement. If the condition is true, the body of if statement is executed, and if it is false, the condition of else if is tested, and if the condition of else if is true, the body of else if is executed, and if it is false, the body of else is executed. So this is the flowchart of if else statement. Next is nested if statement. We can also write if or if else statement inside another if or if else statement. Any number of these statements can be nested inside one another. Sample program to study the use of nested if statement is given here. To find the given number is positive or negative or 0. Here we can see a program. Here the conditions are checked from top to bottom. Whenever a true condition is found, the statement associated with that condition is executed. When no conditions are met, the statement in the else part is iteration statements or loops. In looping, a sequence of statements are executed until some conditions for termination of loops are satisfied. A program loop therefore consists of two segments, one known as the body of loop and the other is control statement. Okay, so looping means it is a sequence of statements and which will be executed until some conditions for termination of loop are satisfied. Here we can see the 4 steps to be included in a looping process. First one is setting and initializing the condition variable. Then test for a specified value of condition variable for execution of the loop. Then an execution of statements in the loop. Incrementing condition variable. The Python language provides two loop structure. They are while loop and for loop. While loop. The simplest of looping structure in Python is the while statement. The while statement is used to carry out looping operations in which a group of statements are executed repeatedly until some conditions has been satisfied. Here, the test condition is evaluated first, and if it is true, the body of loop is executed. So here we can see the syntax of while, test condition, then body of loop. If the condition is true, the body of loop is executed, and if it is false, it will exit the loop. We can see programs using while. Next is while loop with else. We can have an optional else block with while loop as well. The else part is executed if the condition in the while loop evaluates to false. The while loop can be terminated with a break statement. In such case, the else part is ignored. Hence, a while loop's else part runs if no break occurs and the condition is false. Next is for loop. For loop is another loop structure. Its main function is to repeat a statement while condition remains true, like the while loop. We can see the syntax here. For, while in sequence, body of the loop. The for loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence. Sequence means list tuples or string, or rather iterable sub-objects. Okay, here we can see a program of for loop. Next is for loop with range function. We can generate a sequence of numbers using range function. Range of 10 will generate numbers from 0 to 10, which means 10 numbers it will generate. Next is for loop with else. A for loop can have an optional else block as well. The else part is executed if the items in the sequence used in for loop exhaust. Break statement can be used to stop a for loop. Here we can see a program to generate the squares of numbers from 1 to 6. Here, for loop with else is used. Next is jump statement. The Python jump statement performs an immediate local transfer of control. It transfer control unconditionally. Jump statements in Python are of 3: break, continue and pass. Break statement. Using the break statement, we can leave a loop even if the condition for its end is not fulfilled. It can be used to end an infinite loop or to force it to end before its natural end. Okay, it is used to leave it. Using the break statement, we can leave a loop even if the condition for its end is not fulfilled. Okay, here we can see a program for I in range of 10, for I equal to 4, break. After getting 4 numbers, it will break automatically. Here, then print I. The value of I is printing and print breakout. Here we can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Only 4 numbers are displayed here. 4 range of 9 means it will display 8 numbers. Okay. So it will display 9 numbers. So here only 4 numbers is displayed, which means the program is used break statement. Next is continue statement. The continue statement is used to skip the rest of the code inside a loop for the current iteration only. Loop does not terminate but continues on with the next iteration. Continue statement it is used to skip the rest of code inside a loop for the current iteration only. Okay. Next is pass statement. In Python programming, pass is a null statement. The difference between a comment and pass statement in Python is that while the interpreter ignores a comment entirely, pass is not ignored. However, nothing happens when pass is executed. So the pass statement is used as a placeholder for the future code. Also, it is not as a null statement. Here we can see a simple program. Sequence equal to PASS for val in sequence pass. Okay. So that's all about this chapter.